This is part 3 of Death of a Salesman. I'm Ayşe and I voice Linda.
I'm Cosmin and I voice Willy.
I'm Toprak and I voice Ben.
I'm Karim, I voice Biff.
I'm Tibet and I voice Happy.
I'm Emre, I voice Bernard.
I'm Yiğit, I voice Charlie.
What a memory, Ben.
I have many enterprises, William, and I have never kept books.
I remember I was sitting under the wagon was it Nebraska?
It was South Dakota, and I gave you a bunch of wildflowers.
I remember you walking away down some open road.
I was gonna find my father in Alaska.
Where is he?
At that age, I had a very faulty view of geography, William. I discovered after a few days that I was heading due south. So instead of Alaska, I ended up in Africa.
Africa.
The Gold Coast.
Principally diamond mines.
Diamond mines.
Yes, my dear. But I only have a few minutes.
No, boys, listen to this. This is your Uncle Ben, a great man. Tell my boys, Ben.
Why, boys? When I was 17, I walked into the jungle. And when I was 21, I walked out. And by God, I was rich.
You see what I have been talking about? The greatest things can happen.
I have an appointment in Ketchikan Tuesday week.
No, Ben, please tell about that. I want my boys to hear. I want them to know the kind of stock they spring from. All I remember is a man with big beard, and I was in Mama's lap, sitting around a fire, and some kind of high music.
His flute. He played the flute.
Sure, the flute, that's right.
Father was a very great and a very wild-hearted man. We would start in Boston, and he'd toss the whole family into the wagon. And then he'd drive the team right across the country. Throughout Ohio and Indiana, Michigan, Illinois, and all the western states. And we'd stop in the town and sell the flutes that he'd made on the way. Great inventor, Father. With one gadget, he made one more in a week than a man like you could make in a lifetime.
That's just the way I'm bringing them up, Ben. Rocked, well liked, all around.
Yeah? Hit that, boy. Hard as you can.
Oh, no, sir.
Come on, get to me.
Go to it, Biff. Go ahead, show him.
Okay.
Why must he fight, dear?
Good boy, good boy.
How's that, Ben? Huh?
Give him the left, Biff.
Why are you fighting?
Good boy.
Look out, Biff.
D.
Never fight fair with a stranger, boy. You'll never get out of the jungle that way. It was an honor and a pleasure to meet you, Linda.
Have a nice trip.
And good luck with your... What do you do?
Selling.
Yes, well...
No, Ben, I don't want you to think. It's Brooklyn, I know, but we hunt too.
Really now?
Oh sure, there's snakes and rabbits and that's why I moved out here. Why, Biff can fell any one of these trees in no time. Boys, go right over there where they are building the apartment house and get some sand. We're gonna rebuild the entire front stoop right now. Watch this, Ben.
Yes, sir, on the double, Hub.
I lost weight, Pop, you notice?
Listen, if they steal any more from that building, the watchman put the cops on them.
Don't let Biff...
You should have seen the lumber they brought home last week. At least a dozen 6x10s were all kinds of money.
Listen, if that watchman...
I gave them hell, understand? But I got a couple of fearless characters there.
Willie, the jails are full of fearless characters. My wife bought them, and the stock exchange friend, my wife bought them.
Where are the rest of your pants?
My wife bought them.
Now all you need is a golf club and you can go upstairs and go to sleep. Great athlete. Between him and his son Bernard, they can't hammer a nail.
The watchman's chasing Biff.
Shut up, he's not stealing anything.
Where is he? Biff, dear.
There's nothing wrong. What's the matter with you?
Nervy boy, good.
Oh, nerves of iron, that Biff.
Don't know what it is. My New England man comes back and he's bleeding. They murdered him up there.
It's contacts, Charlie. I got important contacts.
Glad to hear it, Willie. Come in later. We'll shoot a little casino. I'll take some of your Portland money.
Business is bad, it's murderous, but not for me, of course.
I'll stop by on my way back to Africa.
Can't you stay a few days? You're just what I need, man. Because I have a fine position here, but Dad left when I was such a baby and I never had a chance to talk with him and I still feel kind of temporary about myself.
I'll be late for my train.
Ben, my boys, can't we talk? They'll go into the jaws of hell for me, see? But
William, you're being first rate with your boys. Outstanding manly chaps.
Oh, Ben, that's good to hear. Because sometimes I'm afraid that I'm not teaching them the right kind of... Ben, how should I teach them?
William, when I walked into the jungle, I was 17. When I walked out, I was 21. And by God, I was rich.
Was rich. That's just the spirit I want to imbue them with. To walk into the jungle. I was right.
Willie? Dear, Willie?
I was right.
Did you have some cheese? It's very late, darling. Come to bed, huh?
Gotta break your neck to see a star in this yard.
You coming in?
Whatever happened to that diamond watch fob? Remember when Ben came from Africa that time? Didn't he give me a watch fob with a diamond in it?
You pawned it, dear. 12, 13 years ago.
Gee, that was a beautiful thing. I'll take a walk.
But you're in your slippers.
I was right. I was. What a man. There was a man worth talking to. I was right.
But in your slippers, Willie.
What's he doing out there?
Shh.
God almighty, Mom, how long has he been doing this?
Don't. He'll hear you.
What the hell is the matter with him?
It'll pass by morning.
Shouldn't we do anything?
Oh, my dear, you should do a lot of things, but there's nothing to do, so go to sleep.
I never heard him so loud, Mom.
Well, come around more often. You'll hear him.
Why didn't you ever write me about this, Mom?
How would I write to you? For over 3 months you had no address.
I was on the move, but you know I thought of you all the time. You know that, don't you, Paul?
I know, dear, I know, but he likes to have a letter, just to know that there's still a possibility for better things.
He's not like this all the time, is he?
It's when you come home, he's always the worst.
When I come home?
When you write you're coming, he's all smiles and talks about the future, and he's just wonderful. And then the closer you seem to come, the more shaky he gets. And then by the time you get here, he's arguing, and he seems angry at you. I think it's just that maybe he can't bring himself to open up to you. Why are you so hateful to each other? Why is that?
I'm not hateful, Mom.
But you no sooner come in the door than you're fighting.
I don't know why. I mean to change. I'm trying, Mom, you understand?
Are you home to stay now?
I don't know. I want to look around, see what's doing.
Biff, you can't look around all your life, can you?
I just can't take hold, Mom. I can't take hold of some kind of a life.
Biff, a man is not a bird to come and go with the springtime.
Your hair got so gray.
Oh, it's been gray since you were in high school. I just stopped dyeing it, that's all.
Dye it again, will ya? I don't want my pal looking so old.
You're such a boy. You think you can go away for a year, and you've got to get it into your head now that one day you'll knock on this door and there'll be strange people here.
What are you talking about? You're not even 60, Mom.
But what about your father?
Well, I meant him too.
He admires Pop.
Biff, dear, if you don't have any feeling for him, then you can't have any feeling for me.
Sure I can, Mom.
No, you can't just come to see me, because I love him. He's the dearest man in the world to me, and I won't have anyone making him feel unwanted and low and blue. You've got to make up your mind now, darling. There's no leeway anymore. Either he's your father, and you pay him that respect, or else you're not to come here. I know he's not easy to get along with. Nobody knows that better than me, but...
Ha! Hey, Biffo!
What the hell's the matter with him?
Don't go near him.
Stop making excuses for him. He always wiped the floor with you. Never had an ounce of respect for you.
He's always had respect for...
What the hell do you know about it?
Just don't call him crazy.
He's got no character. Charlie wouldn't do this. Not in his own house. Spewing out that vomit from his mind.
Charlie never had to cope with what he's got to.
People are worse off than Willie Loman. Believe me, I've seen them.
Then make Charlie your father, Biff. You can't do that, can you? I don't say he's a great man. Willie Loman never made a lot of money. His name was never in the paper. He's not the finest character that ever lived, but he is a human being, and a terrible thing is happening to him. So, attention must be paid. He's not to be allowed to fall into his grave like an old dog. Attention. Attention must be finally paid to such a person. You called him crazy.
I didn't mean.
No, a lot of people think he's lost his balance, but you don't have to be very smart to know that what his trouble is. The man is exhausted.
Sure.
A small man can be just as exhausted as a great man. He works for a company 36 years. This March opens up unheard of territories to their trademark, and now in his old age they take his salary away.
I didn't know that, Mom.
You never asked, my dear. Now that you get your spending money someplace else, you don't trouble your mind with him.
But I gave you money last...
Christmas time, $50. To fix the hot water, it costs $97.50. For 5 weeks, he's been on straight commission, like a beginner, an unknown.
Those ungrateful bastards.
Are they any worse than his sons? When he brought them business, when he was young, they were glad to see him. But now, his old friends, the old buyers that loved him so, and always found some order to hand him in a pinch, they're all dead, retired. He used to be able to make 6-7 calls a day in Boston. Now he takes his valises out of the car and puts them back and takes them out again, and he's exhausted. Instead of walking, he talks now. He drives 700 miles, and when he gets there, no one knows him anymore. No one welcomes him. And what goes through a man's mind, driving 700 miles home without having earned a cent? Why shouldn't he talk to himself? Why? Why he has to go to Charlie and borrow $50 a week and pretend to me that it's his pay? How long can that go on? How long? You see what I'm sitting here and waiting for? And you tell me he has no character? The man who never worked a day but for your benefit? When does he get the medal for that? Is this his reward? To turn around at the age of 63 and find his sons who he loved better than his life? Once a philodrenic bum?
Mom.
That's all you are, my baby. And you, what happened to the love you had for him? You were such pals. How you used to talk to him on the phone every night. How lonely he was till he could come home to you.
Alright, Mom. I'll live here in my room and I'll get a job. I'll keep away from him, that's all.
No, Biff. You can't stay here and fight all the time.
He threw me out of his house, remember that?
Why did he do that? I never knew why.
Because I know he's a fake and he doesn't like anybody around who knows.
Why a fake? In what way? What do you mean?
Just don't lay it all at my feet. It's between me and him, that's all I have to say. I'll chip him in from now on. He'll settle for half my paycheck. He'll be alright. I'm going to bed.
He won't be alright.
I hate the city and I'll stay here. Now what do you want?
He's dying, Biff.
Why is he dying?
He's been trying to kill himself.
How?
I live from day to day.
What are you talking about?
Remember, Ari wrote you that he smashed up the car again in February?
Well?
The insurance inspector came. He said that they have evidence that all of these accidents in the last year weren't accidents.
How can they tell that? That's a lie.
It seems there's a woman.
What woman?
And this woman... What?
Nothing. Go ahead.
What did you say?
Nothing. I just said what woman?
What about her?
Well, it seems she was walking down the road and saw his car. She says that he wasn't driving fast at all, and that he didn't skid. She says he came to that little bridge and then deliberately smashed into the railing, and it was only shallowness of the water that saved him.
Oh no, he probably just fell asleep again.
I don't think he fell asleep.
Why not?
Last month? Oh boys, it's so hard to say a thing like this. He's just a big stupid man to you, but I tell you there's more good in him than in many other people. I was looking for a fuse, the lights blew out, and I went down the cellar. And behind the fuse box, it happened to fall out, was a length of rubber pipe, just short.
No kidding.
There's a little attachment on the end of it. I never knew right away. And sure enough, on the bottom of the water heater, there's a new little nipple on the gas pipe.
That jerk.
Did you have it taken off?
I'm ashamed to. How can I mention it to him? Every day I go down and take away that little rubber pipe. But when he comes home, I put it back where it was. How can I insult him that way? I don't know what to do. I live from day to day, boys. I tell you, I know every thought in his mind. It sounds so old-fashioned and silly, but I tell you, he puts his whole life into you, and you've turned your backs on him. Biff, I swear to God, Biff, his life is in your hands.
How do you like that damn fool?
Alright, pal, alright. It's all settled now. I've been remiss. I know that, Mom. But now I'll stay, and I swear to you, I'll apply myself. It's just, you see, Mom, I don't fit in business. Not that I won't try. I'll try, and I'll make good.
Sure you will. The trouble with you in business was you never tried to please people.
I know,
Like when you worked for Harrison's. Bob Harrison said you were tops, and then you go and do damn fool thing like whistling whole songs in the elevator like a comedian.
So what? I like to whistle sometimes.
You don't raise a guy to be a responsible job who whistles in the elevator.
Well, don't argue about it now.
Like when you'd go off and swim in the middle of the day instead of taking the line around.
Well, don't you run off? You take off sometimes, don't you? On a nice summer day?
Yeah, but I cover myself.
Boys,
If I'm going to take a fade, the boss can call any number where I'm supposed to be, and they'll swear to him that I just left. I'll tell you something that I hate to say, Biff, but in business world, some of them think you're crazy.
Screw the business world.
Alright, screw it. Great, but you cover yourself.
Hap.
I don't care what they think. They've laughed at that for years. And you know why? Because we don't belong in this nut house of a city. We should be mixing cement on some open plain. Or carpenters. A carpenter is allowed to whistle.
Even your grandfather was better than a carpenter. You never grew up. Bernard does not whistle in the elevator, I assure you.
Yeah, but you do, Pop.
I never in my life whistled in an elevator. And who in the business world thinks I'm crazy?
I didn't mean it like that, Pop. Now don't make a whole thing out of it, will ya?
Go back to the West. Be a carpenter, a cowboy. Enjoy yourself.
Willie, he was just saying.
I heard what he said.
Hey, Pop, come on now.
They laugh at me, huh? Go to Fillins, go to Hub, go to Sladders, Boston. Call out the name Willie Loman and see what happens. Big shot.
Alright, Pop.
Big.
Alright.
Why do you always insult me?
I didn't say a word. Did I say a word?
He didn't say anything, Willie.
Alright, good night, good night.
Willie, dear, he just decided.
If you get tired hanging around tomorrow, paint the ceiling I put up in the living room.
I'm leaving early tomorrow.
He's going to see Bill Oliver, Pop.
Oliver? For what?
He always said he'd stake me. I like to go into business, so maybe I can take him up on it.
Isn't that wonderful?
Don't interrupt. What's wonderful about it? There's 50 men in the city of New York who'd stake him. Sporting goods?
I guess so. I know something about it, and
He knows something about it. You know sporting goods better than Spalding, for God's sake. How much is he giving you?
I don't know. I didn't even see him yet, but...
Then why are you talking about?
Well, all I said was I'm going to see him, that's all.
Ah, you're counting your chickens again.
Oh, Jesus, I'm going to sleep.
Don't curse in this house.
Since when did you get so clean?
Don't use that language to me. I won't have it.
Wait a minute, I got an idea. I got a feasible idea. Come here. Biff, let's talk this over now. Let's talk some sense here. When I was down in Florida last time, I thought of a great idea to sell sporting goods. It just came back to me. You and I, Biff, we have a line. The Loman line. We train a couple of weeks and put on a couple of exhibitions, see?
That's an idea.
Wait, we form 2 basketball teams, see? 2 water polo teams. We play each other. It's $1 million worth of publicity. 2 brothers, see? The Loman brothers. Displays in the Royal Palms, all the hotels, and banners. Over the rink and the basketball court. Loman brothers, baby. We could sell sporting goods.
That is a $1 million idea.
Marvelous.
I'm in great shape as far as that's concerned.
And the beauty of it is, Biff, it wouldn't be like a business. We'd be out playing ball again.
Yeah, that's...
$1 million?
And you wouldn't get fed up with it, Biff. It'd be the family again. There'd be the old honor and comradeship. And if you wanted to go off for a swim or something, well, you'd do it without some smart kooky getting up ahead of you.
Lick the world. You guys together could absolutely lick the civilized world.
I'll see Oliver tomorrow. Hap, if we could work that out...
Maybe things are beginning to...
Stop interrupting. But don't you wear sport jackets and slacks when you see Oliver?
No, I'll...
A business suit and talk as little as possible and don't crack any jokes.
He did like me. Always liked me.
He loved you.
Will you stop? Walk in very serious. You are not applying for a boy's job. Money is to be passed. Be quiet, fine and serious. Everybody likes a kidder, but nobody lends him money.
I'll try to get some myself, Biff. I'm sure I can.
I see great things for you kids. I think your troubles are over. But remember, start big and you'll end big. Ask for 15. How much you gonna ask for?
Gee, I don't know.
And don't say gee. Gee is a boy's world. A man walking for $15,000 does not say gee.
10, I think, would be top though.
Don't be so modest. You always started too low. Walk in with a big laugh. Don't look worried. Start off with a couple of your good stories to lighten things up. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. Because personality always wins the day.
Oliver always thought the highest of him.
Will you let me talk?
Don't yell at her, Pop, will you?
I was talking, wasn't I?
I don't like you laying at her all the time, and I'm telling you, that's all.
Why are you talking over this house?
Willie!
Don't take his side all the time, goddammit.
Stop yelling at her!
Give my best to Bill Oliver. He may remember me.
What'd you have to start that for? You see how sweet he was as soon as you talked hopefully? Come up and say goodnight to him. Don't let him go to bed that way.
Come on, Biff, let's buck him up.
Please, dear, just say goodnight. It takes so little to make him happy. Come. Your pajamas are hanging in the bathroom, Willie.
What a woman. They broke the mold when they made her. You know that, Biff?
He's off salary. My God, working on commission.
Well, let's face it. He's no hotshot selling man, except that sometimes. You have to admit, he's a sweet personality.
Lend me $10, will you? I want to buy some new ties.
I'll take you to a place I know. Beautiful stuff. Wear one of my striped shirts tomorrow.
She got gray. Mom got awful old. Gee. I'm gonna go into Oliver tomorrow and knock him for a...
Come on up. Tell that to Dad. Let's give him a whirl. Come on.
You know, with $10,000, boy.
That's the talk, Biff. That's the first time I've heard the old confidence out of you. You're gonna live with me, kid, and any babe you want, just say the word.
Can you do anything about the shower? It drips.
All of a sudden everything falls to pieces. Goddamn plumbing. Ought to be sued, those people. I hardly finished putting it in and the thing.
I'm just wondering if Oliver will remember him. You think he might?
Remember him? What's the matter with you? You crazy? If he'd stayed with Oliver, he'd be on top by now. Wait till Oliver gets a look at him. You don't know the average caliber anymore. The average young man today is got a caliber of 0. Greatest things in the world for him was to bum around. Glad to hear it, boy.
He wanted to say goodnight to you, sport.
Yeah, knock him dead, boy. What do you want to tell me?
Just take it easy, Pop. Good night.
And if anything falls off the desk while you're talking to him, like a package or something, don't you pick it up. They have office boys for that.
I'll make a big breakfast.
Will you let me finish? Tell him you were in business in the West, not farm work.
Alright, Dad.
I think everything?
And don't undersell yourself. No less than $15,000.
Okay, good night, Mom.
Because you got a greatness in you, Biff. Remember that. You got all kinds of greatness.
Sleep well, darling.
I'm gonna get married, Mom. I wanted to tell you.
Go to sleep, dear.
I just wanted to tell you.
Keep up the good work. God, remember that Ebbelsfield game? The championship of the city?
Just rest. Should I sing to you?
Yeah, sing to me. When that team came out, he was the tallest, remember?
Oh, yes, and in gold.
Like a young god. Hercules, something like that. And the sun all around him. Remember how he waved to me? Right up from the field, with the representatives of 3 colleges standing by, and the buyers I brought, and the cheers when he came out. Loman, Loman, Loman. God Almighty, he'll be great yet. A star like that magnificent can never really fade away.
Willie, dear, what has he got against you?
I'm so tired. Don't talk anymore.
Will you ask Howard to let you work in New York?
First thing in the morning, everything be alright. Gee, look at that moon moving between the buildings.
This is the end of Act 1.